Okay, good evening. Hi, I'm seeing someone just arrived, so I'm about to actually just go ahead and get started. Um, I am DeLauren Brown. I am the president of Computational Media Ambassadors at Georgia Tech, and part of the some of the programs that we have as part of Computational Media Ambassadors is leading Level Up workshops. So today's Level Up workshop is going to be on Figma, which I actually have open in this browser. But I'm just going to show you it's going to go straight into my account. So I'm just going to show you all um, like literally what you would type in because Figma is a prototyping tool that is web-based, or like a design, edit, and prototyping tool that's web-based. So when you log in, you can see it took me to my recently viewed. So these are all of my recently viewed projects, or sorry, recently done projects. And this is pretty much what the workspace looks like. If you are new, you'll have to create an account. As you can see, my account is right here. I can search my projects, see what I've recently done. There's like a community on Figma, I guess. I personally don't use that feature. And then I can also check out my drafts, which are pretty much the same as all of my recent projects. Um, okay, so let's see, we'll start a new draft, which you can either click here and do new file, or you can click over here on the top right and say new. So I'll go here, and we will create a new file. If you all are familiar with the Adobe XD workshop that I did last semester, I created a login and like sign in screen. And I did like that activity with Adobe XD, which is very similar to Figma, except that it's just not hosted, like it's not owned by Adobe. And Adobe XD is also like I use the app version, and Figma doesn't. Actually, I'm not sure if Figma has an app, but I use the web-based Figma app, and you can get all of the functionality on the web. So, um, yeah, right now I just have a blank canvas, completely untitled. I'm gonna go ahead and title it Figma Level Up. Okay, so there's that. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get a frame in here so that it's not just like an open canvas. Right now I can manipulate it with my mouse. You can either use a mouse or a trackpad in Figma. It's honestly not too bad either way. But I'm gonna add a frame. And so once you add a frame, which this is like the frame tool. So actually, let me talk about the layout first. So here is your like move tool kind of thing. So you can go between that and scaling. Here's your frame. I think the other option is slice. Um, like you have different polygons that you can, and shapes that you can insert here. Here's your pen tool, pen and pencil. I typically use the pen tool. Text or type, and then here's like a hand tool where you can like physically move around the screen, and then here are comments if you are using like a collaborative Figma board. So when I'm looking for a frame, I'm gonna use, okay, I have an iPhone X, so yeah, that's the frame I'm gonna use. Click on that, boom. I've got this iPhone 11 Pro like slash X one frame in here. And so one is like pretty much if I just add another frame, that's the same thing. It's going to be two. So like you can have many frames um, in your project, because likely if you're like prototyping an app or you're creating the wireframes for an app, you're going to have to use several different pages. So that's why you would use several different frames. And so like here you can see that my layers and assets are shown on the left side of the screen. I don't have any assets in here. Just gonna look at layers. We probably don't use assets for this, for like the exercise that I'm doing anyway. So let's go ahead, and you can see that you can like toggle on what you can see and what you can't. You can lock or unlock things. So when this is unlocked, like I can like edit it, and then it's a little bit intuitive, I guess, but when it's locked, I can't do anything. I can select it. Oh wait, no. Yeah, no, I can't even select it. So that's that. We'll just be focusing on frame one for now. I'm gonna do a login screen. So the way that's gonna work is first I'll go ahead and create the background color. Let me just, okay, pretend I'm doing a login screen for my own app. Let's call it DLO application. And so that'll be the name of it. So, and it's just an app that tells you all about me, but we're not going to get that far because all we're going to do is format the login and sign in pages. So I want the color of the app to be purple. So I'm going to go over to the right side where I can see all, like once you click on one of your layers, like you should see all the different properties that it has. So here I go to fill. If I click on the color that it currently is, then it'll pop up like in this window down here that you can see, and I can either move like this little dot around the color and change colors, or I can put like a linear background in, and there's a linear gradient. Same thing with radial, which you can't, I guess, like if I do, here we go. You can see how that goes. That's really cool, and I can like edit those colors, say it's like that, giving you Spider-Man vibes, or I guess Deadpool vibes, really. Angular does this, and then Diamond is a really cool feature. And then you can also add an image. So I'm not going to do that this time, but you could make an image the background, and you would have to like download an image from your computer. So I'm just going to go back to solid because that's what I care about right now. Purple, it's my favorite color. This purple is a little bit bright, I think, for typical application. I'm going to bring it up, but I'm going to like, I think that's good. Okay, cool. So, bam, that's my background. So now I'm going to add like DLO, the text, since that's the name of the application. Click on my text tool, and boom, this is what I want. So I made the text box. However, the text itself is looking a little small. I'm going to do all. So if I want to go back and change the size of this box, the way it is now, oh, that was kind of cool. Very interesting. It's not going to change the size of the text. However, if I, I think, if I want to change the size of the text, I can go over here to the right side and literally just change it to, needs to be big, do it like that. Okay, but my box is small, so I need to increase the size of that in order to like make it what I want it to be. I think that's a good size, looking good. Okay, and then Figma has a whole bunch of alignment, which is great, so I'm going to center it. And even if it wasn't centered and I wanted to center, I could go over to the right hand side and center. And then if I wanted like centered horizontally, centered vertically, then I could click that, but I don't want it centered vertically, only horizontally. I'm going to do it like right there. Let's make this text white. Go back to fill for the text, same way I did the background. I can enter my hex number and boom. Or hex code, I guess. Let's leave it. No biggie. Okay, now I'm going to add a shape. So I go up here to my shape tool, create like a square, a little something like this. And excuse me, the way I have, or the way I'm kind of do this is like have tabs. So like this tab, you will see this come to fruition, will be like sign in, and this one, actually I'll have this, the like top left be login, top right will be sign in, and when you like click quote it'll like change screens between login and sign in. So for the login, let's have a white background, cool. Round the edges out because honestly most things on apps aren't square. I think if we can bring so if you bring the radius all the way in, since this isn't a perfect square, it didn't become a perfect circle. But if it were a perfect square, it would become a perfect circle. So you just like, that's what the radius does. You can also edit that over here, if you can see that as well. So if I made this like 100, it would be more round. But you can also just bring in the corners like that. Like that's good. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to add a line in order to indicate the tabs. I'll just do a little something like I'm gonna copy paste it. Control C, Control V is what I just did. And I'm gonna bring that on over like this. You see what I'm doing here? See the tabs that I'm talking about? Now I'm gonna add text that says, whoa. Okay, then I just clicked. I didn't drag to start the text. I just clicked, so it ended up being the same size as like Dilo was up here. That's not what I want, but I will fix that in a second. So I'm just gonna go down here, bring it down to like, oh wait, sorry. You have to double click on it in order to actually change the text. There we go. Bring it down to like 24. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Cool. We'll go ahead and do that. Also, typically when you're like wireframing and designing, like I jumped ahead with wanting a specific color in the background, but typically you want to lay out, you want to put your layout in first. You don't even have to necessarily do the actual like words. Like Dilo, you could just put like title and had that there. So login and sign up I think is important, but you want to get the format down first and then do the rest of the cute UI stuff. So I want it to be in line. Let's do it like that. I copy pasted again in case I wasn't intuitive. Sign up. Cool. So get that alignment in there. I'm really struggling to align this the way that I want it to be. Maybe I need to, you know what? I will make this a little bit smaller. Double click. I'll make it size 18. Yeah, and that'll fix all of my problems. So yeah, I'll just have it like that. On the side that's not what you have selected. And now let's go ahead and add our like on a login page, what are you gonna have? Username, password, forgot password, help, or something like that. Yeah. So let's add those buttons in. So I'm gonna go for like a sunken rectangle kind of thing. Yeah, for the username. Do it like that. I'm going to make the opacity, which you can change here, let's say 50%. Okay, I want it even less than that. I want it 25%. Boom. We'll do it like that. In this case, I'm going to Control plus or Command plus, I guess if you have a Mac. I don't have a Mac. I am working on a Windows operating system on a Windows computer. But so I'm going to bring that in since you couldn't see those buttons while it was a little bit long. Radius 8. That's looking good. I'm going to add some text. So this will be, right, username. Cool. Place that where I want it to be. Here-ish. I also want this text to be low opacity, so I'll go down here. Same thing in terms of the, why am I forgetting what this, oh, sorry, in terms of the transparency or opacity, you change it in the same way that you do the rectangle. So I'll have this be like 30% since I made the other. I feel like that's legible. I also, great. So like just for my own personal style, like I would rather this be light. Yeah, like a little bit thinner. I like the thin text. And then I'm just gonna select the rectangle that I made, hold shift. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna select this. Wait a minute. Okay. So I'm actually gonna send this backwards so I can actually see the text or select the text because it appears that this rectangle has shown in front of the text that I just wrote. I didn't want that. Okay, I'm just gonna do it like this. Change it in here. Wait, this is rectangle too? Oh, okay. I was just gonna say something about this. So what I'm gonna do is stop confusing myself, zoom out a little bit, and explain to you guys a problem that I've run into before that I should have like fixed before I ran into it again. So at this point, like I'm working with a lot of different assets that are like right here. So when I thought I had like this selected or something, like I had this, or when I thought I had nothing selected, I had this rectangle selected. So what I'm gonna want to do is lock it, so that way I don't have to worry about that. Same thing with the background and pitch. Okay, this should be locked the way that I want it to be. And this frame is not locked. So the only thing that's locked currently is this over here and then this white rectangle. So I can still access the frame itself and like change that if I wanted to. Don't do that though. That's gonna get you confused. All right, so I'm gonna zoom back in. Well, not too far, I guess. I have my username, so I'm gonna get this. Control C, Control V. I'm gonna just slide that down again so I can make my little password area. Hmm. I'm honestly trying to figure out why I can't like pick up the text. Like why can't I select username? I can select it from this right side, sorry, from this left side over here, but I don't want that. What I was trying to do is select username and then hold shift, select the rectangle, right click, and you can group them. So group selection. And now it's a group. And that's what I wanted to duplicate, but it was giving me problems the way I did it before. So I'm going to delete that. Click this group. Now, as you can see, it's grouped up here. Control C, Control V. So now I have a second group. Move that down. And I just do this so that it's a little bit easier for me to make sure I have like everything aligned the same way between groups. But I'm going to go into group 2, change username to say password. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna just do it over here since I can't figure out why that's happening. Now, okay, never mind, that didn't work either. This worked. Honestly, half of this stuff is about working around. I also usually use Google a lot, like when I'm in Figma or doing whatever, like if there's something that I want to do and I don't know how to, like Google how to this in Figma. In a couple of seconds, you'll get it. They have like some good documentation on different features that they have, so definitely use that. That's like perfectly okay to do. You don't have to be an expert on all these softwares. Okay, so now that I've got that done, and I've changed, okay, yeah, this says password, that's intuitive. Um, okay, you'll enter that there. I'm just gonna add some little text for forgot password. Also, I've just been flying through this, and I'm realizing that more people are in the meeting, so hello, thank you for showing. But I cannot see the chat in the way that I have like my screen shared. So if you have any questions, please unmute and like stop me and ask me about something. Or if you know how to do like one of the things that I've gotten tripped up on doing, let me know. Um, but yeah, so just gonna say that. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop me. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna change. Oh, I wonder. I'm just gonna look at this for a second. Okay, no. I'm not going to try to do the most here. I'm just going to make this text a little bit smaller. 12. Yeah, that's a little bit more appropriate, I think. This box matches. Cool, and then I'm just gonna move over here. So you have your little forgotten password situation. Now I'm gonna make a button. And hopefully I can help it look like a button, which is one of my favorite things to do in here. So I'm gonna make a rectangle for like the login button. Same thing as before. Okay, I guess I have to zoom in to see the little dots. Let's make it more buttony. Radius like 15 is fine. Okay, cool. So now I can go in, I can add an effect, and I'll just like see originally it immediately gave me a drop shadow, which is pretty cool. I think I also have the opportunity to do, I don't remember the name of the effect, the other effect that I used to like sync the like text in. I might be able to figure it out. Okay. Oh, boom, right here, inner shadow. So this is like my jam. I love doing stuff like this. Granted, there's like rarely a time at which this looks as functional, like as it should be. I honestly could have done it here. Actually, let me add it here because I feel like that would have been cool. So let's have an effect. No, let's do inner shadow. Let's have it. So if you click on this sun right here, you can change the properties of the shadow itself. So like how far up or down it is the Y. It's like if I made it 5, like it moves down. Oh, let me do it like 10 so you guys can see. Like it moves in significantly as if the light is changing. I don't want it to be all that. So I'm gonna do like a 2. That's fine here. Blur. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna do a 10 blur so you guys can see how that goes. It just blurs in significantly. But I think, oh goodness, what was blur at 4 before? Maybe let's do like 2. I liked 4. I liked 4. Okay. You can have it like that. And we don't want it to move at all in the X direction because that'll throw off the effect. So I'm just gonna add the same thing to this. Inner shadow. What did I make this? 2. So I did, yeah, left it at 4. Okay, cool. So now we've given ourselves a little bit of dimension. Granted, you know, if you were actually like if you were in a wireframing challenge or something like that and like just trying to get the format out, you don't need to add these details, but I'm just showing you for the sake of the workshop so that you know some more of the functionality of Figma, because I love this feature. Okay, so anyway, back to the button. We'll go, oops. Okay, let me get that centered. Great. We're going to do a drop shadow, so it looks like a button. If you were doing like maybe a picture that you wanted blurred out a little bit, I would recommend the background blur or the layer blur, just depending on, you know, you can play around with that yourself and do that how you want. But I'm going to increase or maybe decrease the blur. I'm going to decrease the blur of the shadow. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm also going to change this fill from, I'm going to make it similar to this color. Hold on, Control Z. In order to go back to like zoom 100, Control 0 or Command 0 will give you back to like this view. I want it so that I can see what color I've gotten here. Okay, I'm about to copy this color, make it my button color. Control B, boom. I also want it to be just slightly darker than that though, so we're gonna darken it there. Okay. And then I could also even change the color of the shadow. I don't know if you guys saw that. This is like to change the color of the shadow. So say I had like a red or something like really gnarly. What's purple's complementary color? Like yellow? Let's do a yellow shadow. That no one's gonna be able to see that. So never mind. I'll keep it like an orange, just so you can see a little something something. Um, yeah. And so that's how you would change the color of the shadow. However, just yeah, don't do the most like that. Keep the shadow black because that's definitely more intuitive than anything else. All right. There we go. I was just controlling Z, by the way. And then I'm going to add some text to this button. Um, log in. Um, and all right, please center on the button. There we go. White fill because that's more contrasting against this purple. I'm going to change it from the light to probably like maybe like a medium. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. Are we seeing how this login page has come together? Okay, so now we've got a login. Very intuitive. Um, if I wanted to add like a, like a eyeball, like icons, so you can like toggle the username or password on and off, I would like literally have to go to like flaticon.com and find like an eye icon and then import that into the into this file. Yeah. So you could click up here, file, place image, and then that's how you would do that. I don't have an eye icon, but um, I could show you with maybe, actually, I don't remember exactly where I organize my files, so I'm not gonna like take time to do that. However, that's the same way you would import an image into like Microsoft Word or Canva. If like I feel like those are pretty common things people use. You would do it the same way here. And you would have to place that. And if you also wanted to like create a prototype or like a wireframe that showed like a filled in password with like dots, you would also have to add those dots. Like there's like you're literally doing all of the formatting when you're in Figma. Okay, so I'm gonna unlock this button. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna unlock this like thing right here because I actually want to make it a little bit taller. And then I'm gonna increase the like, and then I'm gonna add a little shadow to it as well. Oh, also stroke adds a border, if that wasn't clear. Ooh, hold on. I kind of like the border. I'm kind of feeling the border. The stroke is a little bit thick, so I'm gonna make it like 0.5, so it's way more subtle. Border plus shadow. Are we feeling some depth here? We're feeling a little bit of interactivity. That's what we want. So cool. Now I've got my login screen. This is awesome and great. Delo. Actually, I feel like, okay, if I wanted to also change the text, I feel like so much of this is like intuitive for me. How this works, but if you want to change the text, this is where you do it, next to text. And there's a whole bunch of different texts you can like. That's not cute in application. I would want like a sans font, and I don't really recognize these enough. Oh, okay, cool. That's like a little bit robotic, kind of. That's fun. That's a little bit me. Okay, I'd maybe make it a little bit bigger. 96. All right, bam. So now we've got our login screen. And please center. Oh, actually, let me just get it to the height that I want it, and boom, centered it. Great. Okay, so I already created like a window too, or like a frame, a second frame. There we go. But say I'm like only gonna tweak one thing. Really, I'm not changing much between this login and this sign up screen, so I don't want to go to frame 2 and redo all of this. So in order to make it easier on myself, yes, I could make a new frame the same way I did with this frame tool and add a frame and choose which frame I wanted and add a frame. Or so I'm gonna go ahead and oops, Okay, so I just clicked with the frame. If you don't select anything from over here and you like select frame and you like click on the screen, it's just gonna start you a frame, and you can use that for whatever you want. I'm making application screens in here, but you could make like a logo, um, desktop like web app wireframe situation. You can really use this in any way that you can think of. So with the functionality that you're seeing me using here, you can use Figma for pretty much anything. Plus it has the prototyping features. So I'm also going to delete this frame, and I'm going to delete frame 2. And instead of having that, what I'm going to do is select our iPhone 11 Pro, right click on it. Well, actually, I could probably right click over here too. I don't think it matters, but I can, hold on now. I can duplicate the frame, which I do often. And I want to remember how to do it without the keyboard shortcut. So give me a little second to do that. I want to duplicate it. Okay. How you do it? Yeah, it is. Okay, well, I don't remember how to do it without the keyboard shortcut, and that's the thing about using keyboard shortcuts. But I did Control D. I selected like our first, or like I selected, yeah, this first frame. It put another like I don't I don't necessarily want this. Oh, I did like a frame selection, which made everything that I created, like it made the iPhone 11 Pro slash X1 frame. It put that in that and all the other assets inside of a frame and names that. So that was a little bit extra of me. I didn't need to do that, but that's what happened when I like did the right click and then clicked on frame. I'll just show you. That's what happened when I did right click and then clicked frame selection instead of like group selection, which just puts it in a group, which I did before. I put it all in a frame. So that's what happened. But then Control D is how I duplicated the frame. And I really wish that I knew how to do that without the keyboard shortcut. Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. I knew because I had to learn the keyboard shortcut from somewhere. So if you have something, or if you have one of your frames selected and then you go to File, like all the way up to here, or I guess to this menu, go to Edit, and then you can duplicate. Slash, you can use the keyboard shortcut. That's Control D, and that's going to help you out a lot. So now we're already here. We've pretty much gotten everything that we need to get. I wonder if I can, hold on, let me see if I can unframe this selection. All right, we're going to try it. Okay, yeah, great. So in order to unframe selection, just press ungroup. So I guess it's the same thing for groups and frames when it comes to undoing it. But so now we're here with the next situation. I'm just going to switch the tabs. Excuse me, sorry, I'm doing my blue jean thing. Okay, so this is font size 18 and this is font size 24. So I'm going to change this to 18. See what I'm doing here in a quick sec. I'm going to change this to 24. All right, are we following what I'm doing here? A couple little tweaks, you know what I'm saying? We're going to move this line, make it slick right on over there. Oh, wow. Sad it wasn't centered, but whatever. Make it a little shorter with it. Okay, boom. And now we're on the sign up tab. What? That's crazy. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is extend this a little bit. Because on a sign up tab, what do you have? Like first name, last name, email, password, confirm password, potentially other things, like address, phone number. whatever else, depending. Delo app only has you put in your first and last name, your email, and your password. That's all we need. So that's all we're going to put in here. We can get rid of this forgot password. Oh, we're not going to get rid of it actually because we're going to turn it into something else. I am going to group these things. Selection, login button. We're going to change login to, okay, I can't center it. There we go. So we're going to change login to sign up. I guess I did all caps. Sign up. Cool. We've got our button changed. Are we seeing how I'm making this easy? Whoa, see? This is why you have to lock the backgrounds. Lock the backgrounds, kids. Look. Okay, lock. There we go. So you're seeing how I'm doing this. All right. Instead of forgot password, I'm going to change that to a little something like I accept or I have read terms and conditions. Isn't that what it says? Terms. Oh, that's not how you spell terms. There we go. And conditions. I have read and accept the terms and conditions. All right. All right, let me fix the way that looks. Good. So it's not completely up. Great. We'll add ourselves a little circle, a little toggle circle situation here. I just clicked. When you just click, it'll show up at a default size. So what you want to do when you're changing the size of a circle, if I just click on one of these arrows and start moving it around, it becomes an ellipse, not a circle. But if I'm continuing to click and hold, if I'm like moving it around and I click shift while I'm moving it, it becomes a circle. This is the same functionality that there is in like a lot of other applications as well. So that's something that's similar, like across different things. So if you remember that here, or if you do that here, you can probably do it in other places. All right, yeah. So say that's like toggleable. That circle's a little bit small. Let's get it. Whoa, it's a little bit big. Okay, let's do it like right there. That size. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. Honestly, I'm just gonna make like it basically completely transparent. We're gonna add and then I'm just gonna add not a drop shadow, but an inner shadow. This is a good place for an inner shadow, but this is a little bit aggressive. So like, let's do like 1 for the shadow. Yeah, and you see how that looks like something you can select now. Even with, honestly, let me see what happens when I just do transparency 0. Whoa. All right, keep that transparency. Let's maybe do 5. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. Now, we have this. And do you see how this, wait. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Okay, there's something that I do in Adobe XD that I would like to do here, but I don't think that I can do it the same way that I did, so. Dang, really? Okay, well, alas. Alas, yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and Control C, Control V, like 3 times, and make all the different like fields that I need to make. Oh, okay, I think I did too many. We said first name, last name, email, password, confirm password. All right, so yeah, I can delete this other one. Cool. So it'll let you know if you've got like similar spacing going on, and that's all I want right now. So let's go for 17. 17. Okay, we were close. All right, there we go. Between all the things, you want to get that alignment right. There we go. Okay, there we go. And then now I'm just gonna go back. Actually, I'm gonna hold shift, select all of them, and then align them in center. Boom. Okay, now we've got, I just don't know, like, I really wish I understood why sometimes when I double click on it, on the group, I can't access the um, text and why sometimes I can't. Like, this is not what I want. This isn't what I signed up for. But anyway, let's just go here. Cool. Inside of the group. Oh, no, that's not what I, this one. Which one's selected? Okay, it says username. I've got that selected. Pretty much in order to save yourself the trouble, at the very least, lock the shape behind the shape that you're actually trying to access. Okay, so what is this first name? Let's go lowercase. First name. Let's do the same thing here. I'm gonna lock it. Make sure you don't lock, like, okay, when I'm doing this, I'm going into the group, or first of all, I'm selecting this group, so that way I can look over to the left side and see which group is selected. Then I'm going into the group. I am locking the shape that's like the shape that's attached to the text because I'm having a problem like accessing the text and editing it when it's not locked. So I'm going into that shape and I'm locking it. If you just lock the group, you're going to lock the text in the group in addition to the shape, and that's not going to help you edit the text. So just be aware of that. All right, cool. First name, last name. Okay, see, boom. There was no issues here. I was able to click on it immediately and get into the words. Man, I don't know. That's something I would Google if I wasn't leading a workshop right now. Okay, what do we say? First name, last name, email. Same thing. Like, come on. I don't know what's going on here. But this is the easier way to happen. Like, ideally, you would just be able to click directly. So I don't know what was going on before. Um, oh, it already said password. Don't get distracted like me. And then here, so I guess once you have, like, when it gives you that dotted line, that's when you know that when you click on it, it'll let you edit the text immediately. So I guess that's the vibe. Confirm password. Okay, cool. So yeah, ideally, like someone would know to go ahead and, like, if I was a user using this, I would probably click on it, start typing in. Like the functionality is very much so there. Let me unlock these rectangles now. So, oh wait, no, I want to lock this rectangle yet. This one was locked on purpose. All right, let me unlock this one. There we go. So, yeah, let me move these little things up a little bit. Cool. Center that. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Let me right click, group the selection, or you can do Control Z, and I want to center the selection. There we go. I was about to say that was ugly. All right. Same thing with this. Cool. So now look, login, sign up. And you can see, if I were to click one way or another, like the login versus the sign up, like the login would be big here, sign up is big here. Why do I feel like this is larger than the login? All right, it's just me. No prob. I'm gonna make these lines a little bit lighter because they're a little bit aggressive right now. That's not cute. That's never cute. I think I can select all of them as long as I hold shift. No, I don't know. I wasn't able to tell really. So I'm gonna make it opacity like 50, 25. Sorry, I don't know what I just did there. I'm gonna make it 40. Yeah, all right. I like 40. Not too bad. So I'm pretty much doing like the UX and the UI at the same time for the sake of this workshop. But um, if I were, like I said, wireframing just to get the format out, like I would have left a lot of these details out. It would have very much been like frame, then like title, login, sign up, box, 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 text, kind of thing. So like button. So and then you go back in after you've got the like navigation and layout set up to add all the pretty features, which is like the designy, more like the more like aesthetic design part of like UI and UX development. Okay, what was I going to change? Nothing. That's it. All right, so now if I want to prototype, I go up here to this right side. I click prototype. Right now I'm in the design phase, so I have the frames laid out. Then I go to prototype, and I want it so that when I click sign up right here, it takes me to this page, like this frame. Does that make sense? That's all you have to do. Same thing here, when I click login, like if I were to click login from the sign up page, I want it to take me to this frame. And that is there. So, and it, oh, look at it telling me. It'll tell you a little something something, I guess. I haven't used this feature in a while, so on tap. Okay, yeah, so you can also like edit a little bit what happens. So this is, it just gives you different functionality. So like this is a click thing or on tap quote quote because I'm using an app. So yeah, like on tap it would go to the login page. Um, you could drag it one way or another. I think that if I do that, you have to like say where like yeah what the drag is. But I don't want that. I want it on tap. But this is like if you hover over it, something will happen. Like when you press down on it, something will happen. Um, I don't know about this key gamepad. I've never used that, so I'm not going to speak on that. But yeah, so navigate to is the kind of like arrow this is. So I want when I tap on login for me to navigate back to the login screen. And let me actually even make that more clear by going up here. And if you double click on these titles up here, wait, it doesn't. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to design. And to switch back and forth from design and prototype is a matter of literally just pressing these two buttons up here in the top right. So just it's that simple. But if I go back to design and I double click up here, well, it doesn't let me actually edit this. All right. Well, if you double click on the title of that, it'll take you like to be able to edit the title in the menu. So this is going to be called like, and if when I press enter, it renames the frame. And then like same thing here. Sign up. Okay, cool. So yeah, back to prototype. I've got my two things. You know, you can see that. Um, Let me actually add another frame. I'll just like duplicate this one, Control D. Now I've got another login. Wait a minute. I should have done that. Oh, okay, let me Control Z. Because I should have done that in the design, like under design, that way I didn't confuse myself. Here we go. I have this frame selected, duplicating it. So now I have this duplicated frame over here. And all I'm going to put here is like, pretend this is the, so I'm getting rid of all this stuff. Pretend this is the, I don't know, home screen. So I'm just going to put some large text in here that says like home screen. Okay. Or like the landing page is I guess what the company lingo would be. So um let's head back to prototype. Say that I want my login button to take me to the home screen, to the landing page. I go ahead and I can add in like different animations, which this is something, as you can see, like sometimes, so throughout this workshop, I've like gotten some of the functionality thought I could do some things that I couldn't. Been able to like figured out that I could do some things that I thought I couldn't. And that's because I use both Figma and Adobe XD, and they are very, very similar tools. Um, but I just think that, and it honestly depends on like what company you're working with. But Figma is like new. Figma came out like 4 years ago, um, and I don't know when Adobe XD came out, but like a lot of companies are Figma is like the innovative wireframing prototyping tool. So that's really why I got into it because I was originally introduced to XD. Sketch is also a wireframing prototyping tool that's used in the industry, but that's unique to Mac users. I don't have a Mac, so I don't know how to use Sketch, or I've never used Sketch. Anyway, back to what I was saying was that this is something, the way that this menu pops up is something that I like about Figma. And so you can go in, put all these different animations, and if you feel like, I wanted it to dissolve into the home screen, then that's what it would do. Let's have it, like, might as well. Okay, so cool. That's what happens. It navigates to, it tells you where it's going, because you could, like, select here where it is. But let me change the name of this so that it's less confusing. Um, Ew. There we go. There we go. So now when I click on this, it says that I'm at the home screen. You can like tell it where to go and whatnot, or where to navigate to. So, um, this is pretty much all the functionality we're gonna have for the sake of this exercise here. But um, everything that I've shown you, like you just pretty much build on this. Like if I were to have it, like I'll show you one of my other like projects so you can see like it on a larger scale. But let me show you how to prototype really quick. So when you're in the prototyping like stage or whatever, up here you see this play button. And when you click that, it's gonna take you to another tab. Okay, and it's gonna mock up your application onto an iPhone X/11. And then this is like where my mouse is. So this is my mouse. Hello. When I click sign up, boom, I go to the sign up screen. When I click login, boom, I shift back to the login because I had a different like animation selected. And then if I click login, I fade or dissolve into the home screen. Now, unfortunately, from here, I actually didn't put enough foresight into this and allow myself to like navigate back to the login screen. But the only navigation capability you have within um, the like your prototype is what you put in there. So even though it might be intuitive for you to like look for a back button at this point, since you didn't put it in there, you don't have it. However, that is indication like, okay, let me go back to the prototype and make a back button, or make a button that will return me to the sign up screen, or make a button that will return me to or add functionality that will return me to the sign up or to the login screen. So yeah, I'm just gonna, you can press back like on the browser and that'll get you back to where you want to be. But um, yeah, so you can add all like unlimited functionality to this. Like you can literally click, excuse me, let me turn my phone on silent. So you could have it so it's a little bit difficult to show like typing. So in the past I've just had it so where like I click once or something, like just click on the general screen and like the first name will be filled in and then like the last name will be filled in just to show like just to be able to present in what order kind of that would go. And then I'll be able to like for example click on the on like I've read accepted the terms and conditions. And then when I click on that button, I would have had it transition to or navigate to another sign up screen that had this button like filled in. So I would have to like add another wireframe with this button filled in that the unclicked button would navigate to in order to show that functionality. Are you seeing how like literally all the functionality in your prototype is something that you have to create? However, like you can do that to a very like detailed extent. So you can really pretty much you can like I guess fake like actual interaction. And that's why a tool like this is really important and really good when you're presenting to like companies, clients, and different things like that. So that is all for this. No one ever stopped me for questions, so I hope you guys didn't have any, slash I hope that I answered them if you did have them. But let me go show you like one of my other projects that was a little more fleshed out. I believe when you go in here, like Figma automatically saves your work as you're going along, like a Google Docs kind of thing. But you can also save a local copy, like onto your computer. You saw it. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can see it. It's like downloading down here. It's a .fig file. I don't even know what to do with that because I never saved that. But you can also save to version history. So like if you have like if you've reached a certain step, or if you've like finished like a version 1 of your prototype and you want to save that and then like go back and make some other changes, save the version, like save to version history. That way you can go back to the prototype when it was at like the design that you wanted to save it at. You can export it, you can export specific frames, all the things. So let me go back to files. Yay, there we are. Okay, so 9 days ago, I made I did a potential redesign for the Duo logo, for like the Duo mobile logo. And I added like some, here, I'll ungroup this so you guys can see what I did. But there's like some shapes in here that I did. And like, so that way the letters went from just looking like blocky shapes to like actual, to like actual letters. And then I also did another version where like I did like an icon version of the potential logo, or like the app box that would show up on the app icon that would show up on your home screen. So like this was that version of that for two-factor login. If I were to go back and add more details to this, I would make it so that this actually crosses. Like right now, it's just one in front of the other. And if you're not looking at it too hard, it looks like they're like actually intertwined. But I would add like, I would use the pen tool and like add a shape or something that like makes it. And hold on, actually, let me see if I can do that really fast. Like add a shape. It's a little bit wonky. It's a little bit wonky, but make the, no, not stroke. Make the fill of it, I think this is the color. Okay, that's the color. Do I need to bring it to the front? Is it within a group? I don't know why I can't see it. But okay, that wasn't the point. The point is that like if I were to add details, like I can do all of that and like make mock-up logo designs within Figma. On another project that I did, like here's a more fleshed out wireframe. I'm not gonna prototype this. I don't even know if I actually added, no, I didn't even prototype this. This was just like a really fleshed out wireframe that I had. And so this is pretty much, let me zoom in a little bit, how the functionality would work for like an app. I did this for Charter Up for a design challenge. Oh, okay, it's 7 p.m. I'm gonna stop the recording because I'm done with the workshop, but I will stay here and like answer any questions you guys have, or like talk a little bit more about what I've done. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen really quickly so I can stop the recording. Thank you to those, I guess, who watched this later on for making it to the end of this. Also, thank you to those who came. This is also presented by Georgia Tech Computational Media Ambassadors.